You are now on the cameras. But freaking
You know, they say, David, it's always darkest before the dawn.
oh, it is. I'd like to wear the appropriate hoodie and the appropriate do-rag. I don't know, but but I mean, it's so weird. It's like every time I go through these weird like cycles of like work, 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 work. Did the work actually mean something to my life? Did the work actually like, you know what I mean, like help me with any of this stuff? And it's like it always does this after touch thing where like I do like 3 months of work, freaking get them all done, and then life kind of comes around. It's like this weird thing, but it only happens when I start to like think that it's actually happening, or I'll be in the rut for like 4 more weeks or something. I don't know. Do you guys ever get that? Like you finish a project and you like been through it, and it's like man, like it still feels like I'm working, but I'm done with the work just because of the like it's almost like the anticipation so palpable that like still almost feels like the work or something.
It's
I don't know.
time for your body to slow down.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like I'm
It's like
always.
you roll your car in the desert and and the adrenaline kicks in and you're running across the desert
Wow,
with half a shoe on.
you mean like crash? Yeah, when you crash, like you roll it over, right? Not
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Probably
yeah.
it. You know,
There's nothing worse than wrapping up a project that you really love. You feel like shit.
yeah,
Let
every time depleted, deleted,
figure out the.
Yeah,
I
right.
get it.
Always, always.
Hmm.
Man, freaking dude, I got so many cool questions to sort of ask you guys that like I've had locked in, but then sort of went away through the week, so I'm gonna just get to them. But you
David,
guys,
we're here for you, man. We are
Hit it,
literally
hit it.
okay, okay, you guys used to be in freaking keep pointing.
asking pose.
Yes.
You guys used to be in California for a while, right? You used to be posted up.
My guy, sure.
So freaking how are the California pre-Ridiculon proto years of doing stuff? Are you guys more like you got into the studio every time, or you freaking it was like, oh, we're checking it out, it's a cool space, or like you already had what you were going on, but it was just a
We
different
didn't
workflow or
really hang out in
Yeah,
California.
yeah. We
oh
hardly knew each other in California. Honestly, we led pretty separate lives. Either the other, although I knew his wife through different. That was kind of like the concentric circle that joined us in a certain sort of way. We knew a ton of the same people, but we hardly ever hung out. And then once we both moved back east, kind of at the same time, that's when we really started working together nonstop.
Yeah, it's true. It was
that's
out of necessity.
oh
We,
yeah, like there weren't any other dudes that were just as legit that could,
I
is
guess
that
maybe it is the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
oh
Who else?
okay.
Who
If I
else?
were to look for dudes in my hometown, I'm like, I'm dead. Where's my dogs at? Like
Right.
same thing. Like, I'm not gonna ask. Sometimes there'd be other times I'd be like, hey, you're sort of cool guitar. Let's do something. And then it's like, okay, so what you're asking for is a guitar take like 5 months down the line. They didn't remember the project, freaking all this stuff. You could hit up your boy that's already been hearing all your stuff, down with what you're doing, and it's like already sort of maybe thinking about, working. So it's like, I'm sure it was something sort of along those lines, right? Like
Yeah, the California,
natural.
the pre-Ridiculon California years. If I try and find the thread that connects our current life to the past life, my wife and I were in a metal band that Ed McMillan was a huge fan of.
Is that the Book of Nuts or is that Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum
And
or
so we
Skeleton
see
Key?
him
Or
and Danielle at the Catalyst in Santa Cruz all the time.
okay.
And he, you know, was a well-known but struggling artist at that time. I think he was working as like a dog catcher or working at GameStop. Like I don't even know. Yeah,
Yeah, he used to be what was it? It was animal control or something. He was an animal control officer.
yeah.
It was something like that, right?
Anyway, uh, it just was. It was on the first thing John and I worked on together. Actually, I had moved back in 2010. It was 2011, just before John uh, moved back, and we did the original narration for The Binding of Isaac. The music that Danny was still writing music for him at that point, and he wanted me to do the voice of the dad, the narrator, or whatever. So
That's legit. Like,
that's the first thing we actually worked on.
Yeah.
Then I think early on, before I mean, John was doing his thing, playing with at the mega Tokyo Dome.
oh yeah, right. I forgot about it's freaking. It's ridiculous. We don't even need to mention all the superstar stuff
project.
you got away with to get over here on this webcam. I'm just kidding.
Anyway,
But,
we had other designs prior to John moving here. We started thinking about like what sort of. We actually initially, I think, had some very soul-killing ventures in mind, like a music
God.
it
license.
has to happen.
And, like
It has
we were
to happen, doesn't it?
able to make music for Mentos commercials.
Yes, yeah.
Let's get
yeah,
a reel
yeah.
together.
Real?
Oh, yeah.
And thank God.
Wow. Yeah.
I always think about how the fuck do you like even get in that room of like, because I wanted to be a jingle guy. Like me and my brothers, we were always just taking the piss and like, oh, this would be a cool jingle for freaking like McDonald's or something. And like it'd just be it'd be the stupidest thing you wouldn't use. But
How do you get into that? That's a really good question. Clearly, we didn't have
yeah.
or the I don't know what it was. The bad enough attitude.
No, we had too bad of an attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh, you guys are the people you were dealing with, or
Well, no, it's like
Oh.
we tried to team up with an engineer pal named Joel Hamilton from Brooklyn, and it ended up just feeling like none of us were gonna want to be those people.
You know, with it
like,
just
continue.
in life, whatever you want to do, you have to really want it. And sometimes you have to try something on, try a shirt on or try a pair of shoes on. And man, it has to feel right because you're going to have to put a lot of time and energy into whatever that thing is you want to do to make it happen, or even to have a chance of it making it happen. So I think we learned pretty quickly on that getting involved in the licensing and even really pursuing ad work was going to make us hate ourselves. So we stopped doing that. And luckily, through Matthias's connection with Ed, we were able to kind of get on board early on and do some writing for some of his games. And yeah,
it worked out. It kind of fell in our lap due to the old Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum connection and Ed kind of being a pal. We submitted for the Mugenics project. And seems like a bunch of people were submitting, like Danny and others were submitting.
Oh, was a big,
like a lot of in the box stuff that wasn't hitting the more homemade, weird, quirky, loungy jazz aesthetic that he wanted from Eugenics. And John and I, we play all the shit. And so we sent these really janky homemade themes, and Tommy and Ed loved it. And so the rest is history. And thus, Ridiculon was born.
Right, that's the emphasis, right? That was the big bang, right?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yep.
It's crazy. You're the master of names. You came up with the name, right? And you freaking, or do you both come up with the names?
I don't know what he was like. I don't know. I just showed up one day. He's like, "How about Ridiculon?"
Yeah, I love words that don't exist.
Wait, that don't what? What'd you say? Sorry, cut out.
I like words that don't exist. You make up a new word.
Hey, right? Same here.
Right away.
It's taken on great meaning, though. I mean, is it a planet? Is it a T-shirt? Is it an ethos?
It's so
is
many
it a
things.
philosophy?
Yeah, it is all those things.
Is it a food?
Is it a place?
Is it a snack?
Is it a time?
I like how it could all be positive. Or if you wanted to crush, you could crush from the planet Ridiculon.
Yeah,
yes, right. It's just like a
It's,
right.
Yes.
Oh, I would annihilate you.
Yes.
that's what I'm, yeah. See,
a wave
that's
of
legit.
could crash over you and smother you. Yeah.
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 See, that's how I know you guys make a bunch of music, because it's like any other person would find their cool thing and then they're just like, it's this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This, it's like when you make a bunch of music, then it's like by the third or fourth project, it's like, it can't have this and this. It's got to have like this and this.
It's
all of that. Like
a tsunami of awesome.
Yeah, it's a tsunami. It's a forest fire. It's a flash flood. It's a haboob.
So,
one of those really crazy.
It's amorphous.
Heard
I
haboobs?
sure have. It happens. I've seen it.
What?
Haboob happens.
That happens. It could also be a blue-footed booby, a very rare bird.
Or a Basically, we're extinct.
Not on the verge.
That's scarcity right there. That's something we could sell or whatever. Very rare thing.
Anyway, so yeah, it's still kind of the case that we lead a pretty covert existence here, right? Where no one understands what we do, and I'm so tired of talking about it.
Yeah, like I'm trying to find a way. Like it's bigger than music. It's bigger than hip hop. I'm just kidding. No, but it's like, dude, I know the feeling where it's just like, that's how I feel about our freaking cool band. Super cool segue, because it feels like we took all the stuff that was, even the stuff people didn't even know that they wanted from us, and we put it all into a freaking super cool band, and you can just listen to it and not be like, yeah, this amplifies how angry I feel about the world. You know what I mean? It takes it all out. You ain't got none of that no more. That's what I like about it.
You were correct.
Yeah, it was really fun. Well, it's just great to collaborate. I mean, John and I have we've just so been head down in our world for podcast, radio world, video game world. It's nice to open it up.
Totally.
To have the thing that we do, because it's at this point it's kind of second nature, right? Like we've made a lot of music together.
Yeah, like I thought about, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just did like the math in my head of just how long you guys have just been you guys, and how long I've had to bounce around, do all this shit, and then land, to be cool enough to,
Right.
So it's really cool. Like you guys got like more than 10 plus years of just as Ridiculon, or just doing what you do, freaking knocking it every single time. And there's too many songs, it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's only video game world, man. I mean, I think at last count, we've written over 1,000 pieces of music for public radio and podcasts and things like that. We have a vast ass catalog.
Dude, I was even going to mention that other podcast about the FBI stuff. That's crazy. I was checking that out. That's awesome. Like,
yeah. So John and I have branded our personal identities into dust, and we always name our businesses something that has nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's like Matthias, Bossi, John Evans. Who are those?
Yeah,
guys?
they don't exist.
Ridiculon or Stellwagen Symphonette, man.
Right?
Rolls off the tongue.
Oh, man.
It's easy to slow down, and then you pop up some other band.
That's right. Yeah.
That's ninja mode.
No. Hopefully they'll never find us.
They'll never find us.
Never scream as loud as you want. They'll never hear.
Oh yeah, right. It's just so weird how like there's been other things that'll just pop up out of the aether that'll have more views and streams than anything you could possibly imagine.
Yeah,
and then it's like you have these things that you put years and years and years into, and all of your knowledge that you've ever gotten.
Yeah. I get it. Being an artist sucks, man. We don't have to do anything else.
Yeah, what else would we do?
I mean, straight up. Like, it's like, it's like you guys come from freaking doing it all the time. I come from freaking like, hey man, I got this hat and I'm chilling at Rite Aid and all I got is this mini amp. You got $5 and I charmed the security guard so I could still keep slapping. But freaking at the mall, it was dumb. The cop said it was okay. The rent-a-cop took my money. And that's when I stopped playing on the street. And I also got
man, you got busted into the ground.
It's like, maybe I'll try this techno stuff. That's what happened. Real
life. My bass and my battery-powered Gorilla amp.
You can't take it away.
Yeah, no. See, there's this whole other history of anything pre-internet me that's full of doing all the sketchy real life things. Of like, I'm gonna play guitar at Ross. And I just go in with my brother, and we were playing Smoke on the Water. Then they call security over the intercom. Then we left through the back, or like playing at the farmer's market, and that was the biggest pot where I got $50 that time.
Oh yeah,
get robbed. It's little stuff like that. I've always kind of been like hustling and not trying to come up, but just trying to find a way to make these things that work, that are just the things that interest me, that I'll give 100% to. I don't give 100% to literally anything else besides just, the beat's cool, or song's good finally, like, just getting it perfect. So
yeah. Well,
what's up?
No,
what you got? Oh, you got things? Okay, you got questions?
Now you give us your questions, man. I know you've got some things stored up. Anyway,
Okay,
I
cool.
tried to illustrate pre-Ridiculon days.
Okay.
We were neighbors and didn't really know each other, but my wife would always point out, "Oh, look, hey, there's that guy, John Evans. He's from where you're from."
Yes.
I went to the same high school.
Yeah, we went to high school together. I mean, at the same high school at different times.
Was it a cool high school or was it a mean high school?
I'm 72.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. So it's like, do you ever find with things like that you it's easier to like connect coincidences? Do you feel like coincidences aren't coincidences anymore?
Well, I feel like John and I have a special connection given where we're from. This is a unique place where there's lots of local lore and things that we don't necessarily love, but are drawn to, that we can tap into, that, you know, I don't
Like fried clams.
fried clams.
Clams.
Or just, I don't know, you know, it's an odd place that we live in.
Yeah.
And our music is a direct result of where we're from.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
I don't think we'd
That's
be
legit.
making this Ridiculon goulash if we were still living in the Bay Area, because life would have taken us in different directions. This project was born out of nothingness and essentialness.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
born in a
That's funny.
vacuum.
Yeah.
You know.
And also, if we had both just stayed here all our lives, we wouldn't have had the tools to create the music that makes up Ridiculon. You know, we both
Yeah.
have these long lives of playing tons of different kinds of music and both going to music school, but different music schools, and then playing in millions of bands and having all kinds of broad range of experience, so that when we got to the point where we had time to and the opportunity to create this new band, we can cover a lot of ground and do a lot of different styles and bring that kind of lifetime of experience into the music.
Yeah, that's why it's really cool, because it's like with you guys, I mean, I know you mentioned there's a lot of talking and stuff, but with you guys, it really is the work, it's the time, and more importantly, the application of why these things like stick. I think when it comes to what you guys do, because it just, when you make a lot of music, sometimes it's hard for other parts, or the parts you even really like, to keep transferring over to other pieces of work, even though you really like that one song or this one song. So it's just cool that like through just getting it so long, knowledge side, experience side, you've actually like figured out all the things you like, and that's like that's what's super cool about it.
And we also have to, because of all the different projects we work on, we often have a lot to do that is very different styles. So we don't really have time to get stuck on something. You know, if we're writing something that sucks, we just abandon it and move on to the next thing. And if it sounds good, then we flesh it out. And if one of us is stuck, the other one will pick up an instrument and say, I've got this idea that's the complete antithesis to what you were just stuck on, and it breaks us out of the box that a lot of people suffer with feeling stale, because we've always got each other to slap each other in the face.
Yeah,
like
Charlie.
That's
no,
real.
It's true. I mean, even in our world where we have to generate so much material, I can still count the times, like for various projects, where we've been like, this is awesome. How can they not like this? It still happens, right?
This
is rad. There's no way they're going to reject this. Let's spend all day doing this without sending the sketch to the people first, because we're good.
Yeah, and then you get the
straight to heart. Straight to heart.
Yeah, just a dagger, right? So not saying that doesn't happen. Like that happened a couple of times on Repentance, and I get it, right? I'll go back and listen to that thing, and it's like we threw like 600 interlocking puzzle piece progressive rock jams.
I heard those new layers. I've been freaking crunching on that shit. I've been crunching on that game like crazy, and the little with the crazy.
Oh yeah, so you've been playing Repentance.
Yeah. I got all the shit, and freaking I had to actually beat it like 32 times on 2 separate PCs. The old one I had with my brother all the time, and now back on my laptop. But the chick just came over. We were getting all addicted all over again. So
Awesome.
all the freaking layers are just super cool. Like the ones in the burning basement where it's like that. I don't know how you freaking get all those notes so fast. But fast and then slow it down to, it's just crazy. But it's just awesome. And like it's crazy when I think about John's shit now. It used to be like, oh, the bass guy, and he makes the cool songs and it sounds nice. Now it's like every time I hear his guitar, it's like, that's John. But
that's the guitar guy.
They're so distinct, both of them, from the high to the low. It's like, dang it, he's got it. He's got it. I keep thinking like, man, like one of these days John's gonna do more guitar virtuoso stuff and then completely overshadow even the bass side of the things. And then I was like, nah, I can still hear the passion in the bass when it comes to
the passion in the bass. Yeah, no, it's true. It's
because of upright, right? Because that's kind of like a second level of it too. Right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's crazy. So where'd you guys like learn? You said you're like classically trained and stuff. Where'd you classically learn?
No, not classically trained. Definitely not.
Okay.
I went to jazz college.
Yeah, me too.
Jazz college, is that like clown class?
No,
I'm just kidding.
Jazz college. We were like warring factions. He went to Berkeley. I went to New England Conservatory in Boston.
Okay. I thought it was like Juilliard.
So that's like that's literally like Civil War.
The Jazz Battle of Boston.
Battle of Boston.
Yeah.
But John also had there was like the Berkeley Beach where he went, where it's just a bunch of hair metal guys smoking butts on the road.
Yeah, a lot of that.
So mine was like we both had the jazz program, but I had the legit classical, like super
orthodox or
side of my school, and John had like his jazz world, and then like just the hair metal
and the hair metal guys.
Yeah. Is that why you didn't like that one song so much? Because you think it was like it's a lot of those days.
Right, that's right. We did that.
We cut
song. I was like, this is a fucking Motley Crue song.
Totally. Not be mentioned.
Yeah, that happens.
That
happens sometimes.
Yeah, I would say John probably had a more well-rounded education that led to where he is now as a great engineer. And for me, they just assume that you're going to go there and you're going to be the best at your instrument, and you don't need to learn how to read or tie your shoes or eat.
That sounds like jazz college.
Your instrument is going to carry you. You don't need to do anything else to make you a worldly person.
This will get you into heaven.
Anyway, that didn't work out. Yeah. So I struggled through school. I found my footing last couple years and found my people who I still play music with. One who we have a show with on Friday night. One of my oldest.
Right.
Jeremy.
I can't wait for that.
So anyway, I mean, it's funny, jazz music.
Not related, but it is.
I feel like it got me through high school, right? It helped me refocus my playing and like, oh God, okay, I'm either just going to be getting fucked up and drunk and die on the roads here on Cape God, or I can practice, which is what I did. And it got me into college. And then I got there and I was like, oh God, everyone here is crazy and obsessed. I have like weird Aphex Twin and Square Pusher and like Amon Tobin cassettes hidden under my head.
All right.
So
hide those.
I gotta hide, and it's like I was so out of place there, man. I really struggled for the first couple years because I was all
jazz heads. They didn't.
I had to learn. I could read drumming notation, but I had to, like key signatures, circle of fifths, piano lab, all that shit. I was like. They were destroying me there. So, but I fought and I found my way through and halfway through just kind of left the jazz version of me and went back to making weird rock music that led me on the path that I am now. Except maybe I got a little spicy hi-hat foot that can
yeah, because it's the hi-hat.
Jazzy foot. I got a sugar foot.
Yeah, sugar foot.
In 4 different directions, maybe a little more than like, the drummer of Aerosmith or Tommy Lee, maybe.
For sure.
Right. Does it get to that part where you start stacking, where it's like, it's this and Buddy Rich, and
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Williams guy, man. I never really liked Buddy Rich. First of all, he's a fucking asshole. I know he's dead.
Yeah. He's a douche.
But
He
he
was
just,
mean?
he played fast and he
Oh,
beat
okay.
the drummer, you know?
He
Right.
played.
It's always how it is, right? The superheroes that you're like, oh, superhero,
Yeah.
they'll kill you, you know. Or,
Right, they'll give you the laser eyes. Did you see The Boys? You know, Homelander? That guy's horrible.
who's that? Who's
You
Homer?
haven't seen the show The Boys yet?
Oh, I know of the show. That's
All
that
right, baby,
CW show,
that's
right?
your homework, man. That's the superhero show to end all superhero shows.
That's not my thing.
Damn, John.
It's not. You don't like it? Were
John
you
would like it.
Maybe. Maybe.
Did you watch Suicide Squad yet?
Suicide? No, I haven't. See, like, I go through these phases where when I go through a record, I don't do any other label thing. I freaking, you know what I mean? Like anything that's, I get so freaking anti everything. And then when I'm totally in break mode, then I like back to back movies, back to back. Then I watch Purple Rain again. When I, you know,
That's good.
you know what I mean?
I get it.
But I am a little bit stoked. Is it a reboot of the first one or is it a sequel?
No, it's a sequel, but of the same name. I don't get that part, but it's but what a cast, and it is so surreal and ludicrous. It's one of the best superhero movies I've seen in a long time.
I'll check it out, man.
Yeah,
Freaking, I've been ghosting my HBO Max, whatever. Freaking just like after Godzilla and King Kong, I was like,
can there ever be another movie?
Yeah, because they put like a bunch of synthwave in that movie. I don't know if you noticed or whatever, when they pick up what's her face in the trailer or the truck or whatever. That's my boy.
Movie.
Oh, okay. I won't spoil it, but freaking the homie Makeup and Vanity set made it. He got synced. But
all right.
that's all I know. Whatever. Aside of that, what the hell was I talking about? Yeah, heroes and stuff. Do you have any heroes that like have continued to be heroes as you guys have?
Tony Williams, man. I always try and insert a Tony Williams fill into everything.
Yeah,
Tony Williams.
Always. He's
Yeah, he's my favorite drummer. There is no one better than young Tony.
It's true.
Even big yellow drums later. Tony was super badass.
Oh yeah. But the original stuff. I mean.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I'm so out of the loop. Is Tony Williams like what? Is he in a band or is he like solo crazy awesome? Or
Williams was like the teenage prodigy drummer for the second super famous Miles Davis quintet with Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, and Ron Carter.
Oh, the second whole different era.
After like the Philly Joe Jones, Paul Chambers, Red Garland world, the first famous quintet from like the mid 50s and the early 60s when they he continued to somehow reinvent music every time. That band had this young drummer from Boston named Tony Williams. He was like 17.
He changed the world.
He kind of did. He was 17 years old when he started with that band. Yeah. And basically, when you listen to those records, it's kind of like, well, it's clearly Tony's band.
Yeah.
The rest of us are just kind of along for the
holding
ride.
on.
Just kind of holding on to his magical well of inspiration.
Yeah.
And it's raw and it's rude. It's punishingly loud.
Oh, of course.
He was a masher. He was like, and so then if you listen later, the evolution of Tony, like Lifetime, the band that he had with John McLaughlin and Larry Young, right?
Yeah.
The organist. That's metal. I can't. This is like straight up metal.
Yeah.
It's badass.
So he never like softened out over time where it's like more subtleties and more like space.
I don't know, man. He was just a destroyer of the drums. He died real young too.
Yeah.
Like when I was in high school, he died after getting like a run of the mill procedure. He died from an infection or something, like in his late 40s or something like that. So
sad.
He's my guy. He'll always be my guy, and I'll always go back to 17-year-old Tony. I'm 42 years old now, and I'm like, well, it's too late for me.
Yeah.
That guy is just a beast. He will forever live on in those 5 or 6 records that he made with that quintet. I mean, it's bananas.
Hey, can I ask you guys something? I know it's not related, but you mentioned 5 or 6 records, and like, do you think a lifetime of like having a bazillion gajillion records is super, super cool, or just getting it right in 2 freaking records, or like 1 freaking record?
Oh, interesting.
There's bands like that, bro. It's like 2 done, something happened.
Yeah, but what about the bands that just kill it in 2 records and then just have a long tail of
mediocrity.
Long tail.
Hey, that's cool
Does
too.
it discount how amazing they were? You know?
No, it doesn't. Because I mean, it's
You can't.
those guys, they can't do it. That's why they keep getting the other guys that keep making albums after.
Yeah. Desert Island album is Boards of Canada. Music Has the Right to Children. They've
Yeah, that's
like two interviews in 20 years, 25 years. I don't know. They have a very limited discography. I feel like there's something to the super special couple records.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a few bands I played a show last week with this gal from Boston, Tanya Donnelly. She was in this band Belly. They made 2 records. I love them both. And that was it for them. I think they've been kind of doing some reunion shows, maybe. Great band from Long Island in the 90s called the Bogmen. They only ever made 2 records. They're out on the reunion circuit once a year now, hashing out those great hits. So I don't know. You should be, man, if you got 2 records and people listen to them, like, fuck, what a dream.
It's hard. It's hard to have more than 1 record that's good, you know?
Yeah, it every time you add one, it's almost like when you add a feature and you're making a video game. There's going to be a bug popping up somewhere.
How many Night Ranger records are good?
God, I don't know. I don't think any of them.
You don't like Sister Christian?
No,
that's a badass record.
That record is a killer record.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Motorin!
Oh,
yeah. I don't even know that song. I'll just wash my dishes or like wash the shit that I have to wash before I put it in the dishwasher, and I'll just randomly say Motorin, or you know, in Metallica, I Disappear. Hey, you know, and I'll do all those.
Wait, you do a Hetfield?
I
like
do a Hetfield.
Little dip song?
Or like, I was talking to my friend about this the other day. We were like comparing yeahs and stuff, and I was like, is it like James Hetfield's yeah that's the biggest yeah, or is it Lane Staley's yeah that's got the biggest yeah? Because he could say yeah and make it all stretched, long musical with the power.
What about Eddie Vedder? Yeah.
His has more soul.
Chris Cornell had a great yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. What about
yeah,
like the super high one?
He did.
Or are you talking about like just direct, like a bigger?
He had that great yeah. You know, kind of.
Yeah. I want to start a band where
like
we're not going. Like really heavy, and then when there's a break, and I go, yeah,
right,
yes.
I saw years ago. I was at Metallica did this really small show at this place called the Fillmore in San Francisco, a really famous old club. It only holds about 1,400 people, and so, you know, at the end of their first or second song, you know, they came out there thrashing, cranking, everybody's going crazy because it's this tiny little place. And James Hetfield comes up to the mic, and he sounded like Mr. Rogers. And he's like, "Oh wow, oh yeah, this is some really special shit here. Some really special shit." Like all soft voice, and it was just so funny. So I always joked like, "Oh yeah, oh that's some special shit."
Yeah,
oh, yeah. Man, what a delight! Like what a. I would never
put
do
on
that.
a cardigan sweater and just hug a kitten or something.
Yeah, Metallica.
Yeah.
Lars Ulrich was never my favorite drummer.
Terrible.
I know we're being recorded here, but I'm going to go on record and say that Dave Lombardo has a much bigger degree of shred.
Oh,
there's I can list a million more metal drummers that take me to that special place. You know.
Yeah. Wait. Like so. I should get into it now. So like what takes you guys into that special place more specifically, Matthias, with the drums, and what about you with the bass and the guitars, John? What brings you to those magical places when it's like when you know a musician's actually good and they did something where it's like, dang, I gotta do that.
I like to hear people that feel like where it feels a little unhinged and they're just barely making it, but they still make it.
Yeah, it's almost like a good
they hit their head on the diving board, but they still have no splash.
They still have no splash. Like when they just like you're like they just a boom and they nail it and they're like up safe free and everybody goes 10.
Greg Louganis.
Yeah, and I like that because the guys that are just fully fully shred masters where everything's perfect and they're doing something that is unbelievable. I don't
So
know. It just kind of
clean, isn't it?
leaves me a little cold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a one track.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I do all this like, oh, you
I
know,
think what makes Ridiculon fun is there is a little first take danger in a lot of the stuff that you hear in our games,
Yes.
right?
yeah,
There's some lilt and some questionable things.
Yeah, we like to leave the warts and all because most of this music that we make, we're kind of improvising it in the moment and do our best to not perfect it. And I
mm,
think that it makes it feel like when you listen to it back over and over again, you might hear something that some people might consider a fuck
error.
up or
Yeah,
or something that, oh, if that was
he's
mine,
doing.
I would have edited that so it lined up perfectly. But we kind of we leave the doubles as they are and the triples as they are, so things are just a little wider and flammier than most people that are obsessed with everything being on the grid. And I think
Yeah,
it lends itself to a little bit of that freshness, even when you're listening to something that's looping every 2 or 3 minutes. You still feel like you're having a new experience every time it comes around.
yeah. I noticed also too, even on small speakers, with that kind of like difference of I guess width between all the different sounds. It always comes out of even a small thing like whoa, like big, like this, as
Nice.
opposed to when you go for just strength, like just mono strength or whatever, and it's just down the middle. Sort of sacrifice like a bit of that wideness sometimes, unless
Yeah,
you just saturate everything. But
sure,
yeah,
sure.
like it's just cool, man. It's cool that like another thing I thought about, it's like since all the pieces that you make, you're not going in, this one has to be the proper take, and then we'll add that to all the flim-flammy takes. Like you're always adding that style, like that taste to it. So you can just build them like Legos and come up with what you want instead of like, okay, well, we played this last take like it was whatever in 2 takes, and then this take we finalized after 8. So now it kind of sounds like this one's too technical, this one's too fun, or
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we just throw it down.
We also repeat our mistakes.
Yeah,
That's the thing. We're like,
yeah,
oh,
do it twice, right?
double that clam.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like Clams Casino.
Yeah. Double
Class.
that clam. Let's make that
That's a
mistake
thing.
the answer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's taken me so many years to lean into that because for so long I was the has to be perfect guy. Has to be perfect. Last
Yeah.
album has to line up with the next one. The continuum. So
The Scattle continuum.
it's
The Kirk
just
Scattle continuum.
I know it looks all stupid and I'm throwing it out into the wind, but there's like a small thread that connects all the most randomly seeming things that I'm dropping. But it's not about me. It's about you guys. So freaking what do you what was the okay, so on the emails, you and I, Matthias, we were talking about what the name would be when we came up with Ritlin, but
Mm.
you, John,
John
were the
came up with
deciding
it.
smasher of
He's
the
the name
names.
guy.
Yeah, so
He had some horrible ideas, like
how did you get to Ritlin? Yeah, what was it?
Or Dick Scat, which was
Ridiculous. Wait, I'm gonna go through the email. I'm gonna just scroll through.
Scattalon.
Scattlon,
Terrible.
Scadiculon.
John's the genius. He came up with Ritlin. It was like just perfect.
It's like that, and it
I
was
know.
history. Now it's on my wall.
Yeah.
It's it's cool. What do you think what are your, I know you guys have done music so much that it's like you said, beating you to dust or turned you to dust, whatever. But what do you hope this Berlin record's gonna do for the world or for music or for
I
other
don't know.
musicians?
I hope people listen to it.
Yeah.
John and I have historically been terrible marketers, right? We have fun making shit, and we've been lucky that through the game world or otherwise, there's just like a built-in audience who's willing to go along for the ride. So, I don't know. I'm happy that we made it. I think it was a really cool blend of our personalities, and it is very unique, right? You can hear You can hear the blend of our of our styles, and I hope that people from your straight up synth crew will will come over to our side for a bit, and vice versa, right? It's all about
Yeah.
a dialogue. Like, be a little flexible, people.
And it feels like the kind of music like we our people and your people can all chill with.
Yeah, like there's a middle ground of just like it's all the cool things that can line up together in a thing. Like at any point in this album, I didn't try to do any freaking has to reinvent the wheel just to do it, just to say we did it. I really was just like, hey, I'm just in this band and I hope freaking I put a thing down that makes it like, okay, he's the synth guy. He put his,
Yeah.
you
Just
know, it's
make some music, right? Just
yeah,
make
like
music.
make the presence known by like making, it was kind of more for me. It was more of a step back because I'm always so freaking into everything that I'm freaking doing. And like this time it was like, can I still take a couple steps back and do what I do and not feel like I'm losing myself or I'm just not bringing the super edge that I would bring if I were to be angry about something and go directly into a project or anything, So it was just really cool. It was a meditative thing for me because like I just had to get out of whatever sort of rut, emo rut, angry rut I was in, making stuff.
Well, I mean, collaboration is you have to find your way, right? I mean, certainly early years of Ridiculon, like with John and I had to find our sound, had to find the way to blend our different life experiences, and it just takes time, and all things considered, the three of us worked pretty quickly together since last March or whatever.
Busted it down. What, 6 months? Busted it. It was like weekend getting it every Wednesday. It was legit. Freaking, I don't even have that kind of work ethic. When it comes to me, I freaking, whatever, or I'll turbo make like 6 songs and then just like nothing, or post up for a while.
I get it.
But you came up with the song titles though, so I wanted to talk about some of that. Like,
we did those together.
Yeah, you did? Okay.
We came up with them together.
Man, some of those are the best case scenarios. Some of the things that we come up with just don't see the light of day. Like, we can't even live with some of our bad dad joke titles sometimes.
Titles though.
Sometimes John will just like blind type.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I named the song.
Yes.
Again,
Badger Drop.
Badger Drop is great. I love names.
I love that title.
It doesn't mean anything, what does that mean? But it's just really good.
Badger Drop.
It's very visual. It's honestly, check it. I really like those titles because they're like, it's just weird. They're so artistic that they're not like in a way where it's like it's not that artsy way, but you visualize something every single time. You look at one of those things, like some dead badger walking.
Oh, I like that the session for Cantina is called Cat Nina.
Cat Nina. Yes, Cat Nina. Yeah. Sometimes the spelling just happens before the brain happens, and then that's just the way it is.
That's true. Do you guys have any sort of like, what are you, like dyslexic or anything like that? Or
no, I'm not dyslexic.
I'm not.
No. Just sometimes things come out a little wrong.
Yeah, it's usually my fingers can be a little dyslexic, so that happens.
Yeah, we had some good titles. Like I really like Godsmell. That one.
Yeah, what is that? Is that just like my friend was bugging me about it. He was like, "What did they reference Godsmack?" Yeah,
Godsmell. I was thinking more Godsmell.
Yeah, Godsmell is good. I know that's a really good one. Of course,
I love that. That was the first song, right? That was the first one.
Taser Tot, love that one.
Yeah, Taser Tot is good.
Yeah, that one took a bit, right? Because it used to be 2 different titles. It used to be like what, 3 of a kind. Then it got changed to Taser Tot. That was the second one, right?
Oh, and there was Cleopatra, and then we found
Cleopatra
band. That's actually a band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a decently big band. So it's shout out.
Shout out to having your finger on the pulse, but missing the boat. Because clearly we are filled with ideas that people have already taken.
My best ideas have already been taken.
Yeah, I have this great idea for 4 British lads.
Yes.
Reinventing music.
Yeah, the Buggles.
The Buggles. They're really good.
The Dungs. They're the next generation.
Yeah.
Kids are gonna love them. They're gonna go crazy for it. I bet. Anyway, man, you know, I hope people listen to this record. Maybe it'll have a little slow burn here, but all we can do is just, you know,
Up in
Put
the
it out
seat.
there. Just
Yeah.
put it out there. Fingers crossed that people like it.
All right, that's really it. I feel like, man, it's just been a really unique thing. Like the fact of just even the art, you know, all the art stuff. I was actually gonna ask you, like, for this interview, can I use that picture that got that got rejected? But I don't know.
I don't know. What was that?
Oh, from our French pal Anaïs Levy.
Loves it. I
Yeah.
loved it too,
No,
but
I
I was
don't
like,
know. I love it.
I'll screw it. You know,
I loved it in the context of our new label, but she attempted to draw one that involved all three of us, and it went a little bit sideways.
yeah. I mean, well, yeah.
I'll show it to you. Yeah. For the purposes of this interview, I don't know. We have
I
so
feel
much
you.
good, like, mono art that's super stark and really in keeping
Yeah.
with our. I don't know. What do we call ourselves?
Mystico. Oh, what do we call ourselves?
That's the genre.
Oh, that's a
Mystico.
great genre.
Mystico.
I like that.
Psycho
That's
mystique music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well named. You did it.
Mystico.
Mystico. What
It's-
kind of music do you guys play? Well, it's deep Mystico.
Deep
I
Mystico.
like. There's a slight like shadow of techno in the back. Like maybe
Yeah.
there could.
Shadow of techno. Always looming.
Isn't
Always
that
threatening.
Isn't that a jazz standard?
Shadow of
Shadow
techno.
of my techno.
Yeah, the
But
shadow.
just, yes, my tears.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Freaking man. I don't know what to freaking ask you. I feel like there's like 3 more questions I didn't ask or something. Do you have anything you want to talk about? Or like
we want to ask ourselves?
No, I
Yeah.
think
in the future?
it's been a pleasure to talk to you. I've never seen you in person, so
Right. It's awesome talking to you guys. Yeah, right. I haven't talked to John at all ever. So it's awesome talking to you. Freaking
Doing it here, buddy.
Matthias.
yeah.
You've always been the OG, you know. So it's all good. Wait, I wanted to talk about freaking Rabbit Radio.
Oh,
Freaking
yeah,
tell me about that.
Yeah, Friday night. It's a band that my wife and I started when we moved back here to this quiet little sandbar. John moved back just about a year later. We started making records. You know, my wife and I started up this subscription series where we did a song and a video a month and things like that. And kind of coincided with John arriving, and so he just came on board as a third member and mixed our records. And we've been at it for a decade, at least as long as Ridiculon, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
Right. So
occasionally we'll play shows. You know, my wife and I toured as a duo for a while, and occasionally as a trio with this other fella, Jeremy Flower. But we're playing as a quartet on Friday night.
Yeah.
It's going to be a stream and also sort of very limited in-person tickets, and it's going to be fun. A lot of new material. We made 2 records in quarantine COVID times, so we're picking and choosing from the 2 records, and it's going to be really fun. It's going to be a real challenge to recreate it as a quartet because we tend to throw the kitchen sink at everything.
Studio
right?
magic.
but it's going to be fun. It's really going to be good. We've been rehearsing, and we have the big, the quartet rehearsal tomorrow here at the studio, and then the concert will commence on Friday night. It'll be
Crazy. You guys, you're the machine, man. Like always going, man. It's
Always
crazy.
going.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Rolling rock gathers no moss, right?
Rolling Rock is a beer. The beer ape, the Rolling
Yeah,
Rock.
Rolling Rock, right? Yeah. It is Rolling Stone, but I like Rolling Rock because then it does make you think of beer.
Really shitty, cold American beer.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that beer commercials in America are only advertised by the temperature and not the taste?
Mm-hmm.
They always talk about how cold it is, but like whose beer is colder, but it all just tastes like shit, and so they only can talk about how cold
Because
it
it
is.
has to be so cold. You can't drink it warm.
Yeah, come on. So like Rolling Rock, Bud Light,
I never
Natural
thought,
Light,
dude.
Coors
PBR,
Light, the Silver
Coors,
Bullet, that's all about
Exactly.
garbage, and so cold.
Gotta be cold.
You got to slam the can
Condensation.
to get down to
Ah.
even 75% temperature. It's undrinkable.
Yeah.
I don't even
you're
drink
right.
myself back.
I'm not I'm not a beer guy. Like if there's any other chaser next to any other drink, that's the main drink, and the other drink is just the trick.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Oh man. Well, anyway, I hope are you going to tune into the stream on Friday?
Yeah, I just bought the freaking ticket like 2 days ago. It's going in. It's going in. It's going down. It's going down.
Oh, remember those things at the World Cup? The vuvuzelas? Do you remember that from
Oh, those the plastic.
Oh yeah.
They were so loud.
Yeah, don't bring them to the show.
They used to like do this.
Yeah, like
Because it would like whip the air through it. They wouldn't have to.
We should get people to bring vuvuzelas.
Awesome.
Yeah, bring that shit back during COVID, right? Y'all about it. Going out here.
Bring that shit back during COVID. Let's bring back the vuvuzelas, man. They actually never came here. Let's start the trend
Yeah,
again.
that would be like a COVID spreader.
Just shoot the Delta variant into the face of all the unvaccinated children.
Like a blow dart of poisonous saliva.
Yeah, we'd love
like
it.
a mace.
Yep. Oh man. Anyway, great to talk to you, man. And if there's no other questions, we're just going to continue to drink caffeine and eat cereal.
Okay. Well, shit. I didn't even do that yet. I'm probably going to do that too, or something. My milk went bad today. Today's the 11th. I can't do it, guys.
Oh man,
I can't do it.
Go get some new milk.
Anyway, David,
what?
Thanks for ringing us up, man.
Yeah.
And
Anytime.
congratulations on the release of this record. However quiet it has been, it's really rad, and we're super proud of the efforts that went into it. It's a really unique sound, and I hope people are listening. And hello to your people, and congratulations on your 1,000th subscriber threshold there. So I hope this goes up on the YouTubes.
Yeah,
Well, I hope you guys have a beautiful day.
All right, you
See you, man. Goodbye, YouTube.
Bye-bye.
Good to see you. Bye.
Peace.